Thomas of Brotherton, 1st Earl of Norfolk, was the fifth son of King Edward I by his second wife Margaret of France and was a younger half-brother of King Edward II. He occupied the office of Earl Marshal of England. Early life. Thomas of Brotherton, born the 1st of June 1300, was the fifth son of Edward I, and the eldest son of his second marriage to Margaret, the daughter of Philippe III of France. He was born at the manor house at Brotherton, Yorkshire, while his mother was on her way to Carwood, where her confinement was scheduled to take place. According to Hilton, Margaret was staying at Pontefract Castle and was following a hunt when she went into labour. The chronicler William Rishanger records that during the difficult delivery his mother prayed, as was the custom at the time, to Thomas Becket, and Thomas of Brotherton was thus named after the saint and his place of birth. Edward I quickly rushed to the Queen and the newborn baby and had him presented with 2 cradles. His brother Edmund was born in the year after that. They were overseen by wet nurses until they were 6 years old. Like the parents, they learned to play chess and to ride horses. They were visited by nobles and the half-sister Mary of Woodstock, who was a nun. The mother often accompanied Edward on his campaigns to Scotland, but kept herself well informed on their well-being. His father died when he was 7 years old. Thomas's half-brother, Edward, became King of England and Thomas was heir presumptive until his nephew Edward was born in 1312. The earldom of Cornwall had been intended for Thomas, but Edward instead bestowed it upon his favourite, Piers Gaveston, in 1306. When Thomas was 10 years old, Edward assigned to him and his brother Edmund the estates of Roger Bigod, 5th Earl of Norfolk, who had died without heirs in 1306. Career. In 1312, he was titled Earl of Norfolk, and on the 10th of February 1316 he was created Earl Marshal. While his brother was away fighting in Scotland, he was left Keeper of England. He was known for his hot and violent temper. He was one of the many victims of the unchecked greed of the king's new favourite, Hugh Despencer the Younger, and his father Hugh Despencer the Elder, who stole some of the young earl's lands. He allied himself with Queen Isabella and Roger Mortimer when they invaded England in 1326, and stood as one of the judges in the trials against both Despensers. When his nephew Edward III reached his majority and took the government into his own hands, Thomas became one of his principal advisers. It was in the capacity of Lord Marshal that he commanded the right wing of the English army at the Battle of Halidon Hill on the 19th of July 1333. He died about the 20th of September 1338, and was buried in the choir of the Abbey of Bury St Edmunds. He was succeeded by his daughter, Margaret, as Countess of Norfolk. She was later created Duchess of Norfolk for life in 1397. As a son of Edward I of England, he was entitled to bear the coat of arms of the Kingdom of England, differenced by a label argent of 3 points. Marriages and issue. He married firstly, before the 8th of January 1326, Alice de Hales, daughter of Sir Roger de Hales of Haley's Hall in Loddon in Rooton, Norfolk, by his wife, Alice, by whom he had a son and 2 daughters. Edward of Norfolk, who married Beatrice de Mortimer, daughter of Roger de Mortimer, 1st Earl of March, but died without issue before the 9th of August 1334. Margaret, Duchess of Norfolk, who married firstly John Seagrave, 4th Baron Seagrave, and secondly Sir Walter Manny. Alice of Norfolk, who married Sir Edward de Montague. Alice Hales died by October 1330, when a chantry was founded for her soul in Bosheat, Sussex. He married secondly, before the 4th of April 1336, Mary de Brewis, widow of Sir Ralph de Cobham, and daughter of Sir Peter de Brewis of Tetbury, Gloucestershire, by Agnes de Clifford, by whom he had no surviving issue. Ancestry.